Yo, what's good, y'all? Hey, I know I haven't posted on YouTube in a minute, but if you do ever want to come into contact with me easily, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Medify. If you want coaching, if you want any tips, lessons, shit like that, Medify is the place to do it. Or just reach out on Discord or something like that. Description in the got my link tree, I believe. Or it's matter if it doesn't have my link tree, I can put it there, or just comment. And if you want a way to reach me and you don't have it, just let me know. But anyways, we're gonna talk about some set 8 stuff because a lot of people have been basically just saying a bunch of nonsense and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and that's the usual. Like, there's never been a game. There's honestly never been a game, I don't think, a community where there's more people that talk about the game that don't even play the game. Like, it's fucking nuts. Like, you have you have people that talk about Fusion World all fucking day, and there's not even proof that that these motherfuckers ever even have played a game of it. It's crazy. But anyways, let's get straight into it. We're gonna go over the leaders first, then we'll go over reveals. I'll talk about what kind of potential I think there is for the different ones, what I think they can do to the current meta leaders and stuff like that, and then we'll just go from there. We'll see. Okay. We got Go On. Go On's cool. The 4 or less draw. It's the standard stuff. Um, the switch to rest mode, basically you switch cantrips. You switch, you got cards that play cards, like the double strike that you'll see later. It's a card that plays a card. So you don't really have to have a full board for this to be active. Like, and it's not like high. It's not like a ramp deck where you have to consistently play on curve. So you've got plenty of fucking energy to play multiple bodies, which in turn most of the time means more like micro decisions and stuff like that, like how to allocate your energy usage. So yeah, so typically those decks have higher ceilings, but and then you get people that argue otherwise. But like I said, a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Don't listen to them. Just ignore them. If you want to get good at the game, talk to somebody that you know is fucking great. But anyways, yeah. So he burns a life, similar to like Sphere of Destruction esque, except without the KO. And then yeah. So kind of scary for decks like Omega, honestly, just because the burn can, like, if you're trying to stay high life with Mega, the burn's happening like multiple times, like dwindling you down. But I don't know. Like, we'll see. We definitely will see. I think. I don't really know what to think too much about Gohan because it's really a wild card because on one end he doesn't need a wide board necessarily. Um, Red can always Red always has like KO options, so like the Brolys and stuff like that can sort of get rid of. But then again, there's a Paragus that protects from getting rid of skills, so you can't just like God Kame something. So you would have to minus it, and who knows how much minus this deck will be doing because it sort of might lean towards more aggro. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of fucking firepower, so we'll have to see. But definitely, I see potential in this deck for sure. Let's see, it's this next one. Caulifla. This one, I'm a lot higher on it than what I feel like a lot of people are. Mainly just because, um, well, thankfully, she's a 20k crit, unlike Demon King Piccolo. Fucking Demon King Piccolo, they decided, oh, he's just going to be a 15k crit, which is fucking nutty. But yeah, so 20k crit. A lot of people don't use crit leaders at all, so a lot of people don't play against crit leaders, so they forget how backbreaking crit leaders can be. They're like, oh, he's a crit leader, doesn't draw. Not remembering that you're swinging crit at your opponent. They're typically taking the early swings to get a card, so their hand's twice as big. They're not realizing, because they haven't done it in so long, that their hand is half as big as well. So really, it's just your hand versus their hand, and it's sort of like think of it the equivalent of chess. Like you're trading pieces early, because yeah, you're losing a piece, but so are they. So it's a net neutral, and basically you're saying that your end game is better than their end game, or in this case, you're saying I can do better with 6 cards in hand, 7 cards in hand, 5 cards in hand, etc., than you can with 6 cards in hand, 5 cards in hand, 7 cards, etc. Especially like green decks and stuff like that are contingent on seeing like very necessary pieces super early. That shit hurts their ass. It's the same reason why I like set 2.5, why droids hated going against Beerus. Same fucking exact reason. Because you just make it so much harder for them to see their ramp pieces, and if they miss ramp, it's over. Fucking scoop the deck up. GG. But anyways, this sort I think is a good deck because it's more so the reveals that you're going to see in the future a little later in this video. But yeah, she pay 1, discard 1, play a card. So basically the exact same effect Topku had, but it's just different targets. Hers is you have to have something already on the field. You bounce it back. So like let's say you have a 5 cost, you bounce it back. It has to be U6 though, and then you play a different card with U6 that with a cost less than the card. Okay, at first I thought it was 1 cost less, but it's a cost less, so you can play any cost that's less than it, so that's good. So if you bounce a 5 cost to hand, you can play 4 cost, 3 cost, 2 cost, 1 cost, 0 cost, whatever the fuck. You can play anything that's less. So you don't really care to you're not really like a super go wide thing, and you don't need like to keep a board. So like you're always just gonna get a bunch of swings regardless. Pretty much seems like we have a 5 cost that draws 2. Most of the other stuff in the game that ever draws 2 makes you either put a card back on the deck or pitch one or something like that. So that is like the best. I think that's probably the best like net gain card in the game. But yeah, I think it's gonna really do a lot of damage because just crit leaders are definitely slept on because people just aren't used to playing it, and well, for good reason though. People aren't used to playing it because the decks just aren't that good right now. The crits, not because it's crit, it's just because the fact that their awakened effect isn't that good. But if the awakened effect is great, then the crit's just a fucking bonus, really. And people are saying 1 cost super turbo awaken, da 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 da. This is a deck that you don't. It's not like Topku where if you awaken turn 2, then you automatically get insane value. You wouldn't get any value for awakening fast like this, and you drawing faster on your swing isn't any net gain because now your swings are giving them a card too. So you didn't gain any value. You're gaining a card, but so are they now. You'd rather take a card from them, which can potentially be anything, and then just not see one yourself, and then just slowly let them hit you. And no, you'd rather run cantrip. If you're gonna take lives, let them do it for you. Let them hit you. They're definitely not gonna fucking stall you. No. But yeah, she's at 3. But when she flips over, she's hitting you like a fucking truck like a billion times, and yeah. So this deck would be cool. And stuff like Red Cell even. This Blues already has like the best matchup into Red Cell with Shenron, so we know that's good. So we will likely be able to bottom cards, bounce cards, all that good stuff. And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And you see a guy, what did this guy say? On paper, seems like one of the worst leaders ever made. It's a shame because that kid's all right at the game. I've talked to that kid a couple times, but yeah, he has no clue what the fuck he's talking about. Turles. If you have 5 or less energy once per turn, you can use the Fruit Tree of Might without paying its cost. I'll basically just talk about that more when you see the card because you can't really know without it. So yeah, but the deck might be alright, but I don't know. It depends because I feel like it could just be another I don't know. I think it really depends on if it's better than Green Vegeta, and if it would have to make sense to play this deck if you're gonna play green, because it's not really a ramp deck because you're not gonna go above like 6 max because you can get back, but yeah, but we'll see how fast like it can swarm and stuff like that, but I'm not the highest on that deck. Broly is what a lot of people are scared of, but I don't think they need to be necessarily, at least not at the moment. Awakens at 3. If you have a cost of 5 or more, Saiyan, which is like the Broly's, opponent can't attack with the card unless they switch an active card to rest mode. One of the reasons why I was saying that, and then people were seeing the secret, the 6 cost that freezes everything that's rested, even if your leader's rested. Which, remind you, it doesn't freeze the leader. It doesn't freeze it. Your leader still goes back to active. It just doesn't let it attack. So, if you have like Bulma or Shenron, you still get to do your effect. It doesn't freeze the leader. It just says it can't attack. And you don't attack that leader anyways. So those decks don't give a fuck. But yeah. And then I was saying like a deck like Sen Shenron is gonna fucking shit on this deck. You swing, you double strike 4-2, and then like let's say they play, let's say you're going first, and you get to 5, you double strike them 4-2, because they're not getting out of a 55 with a 15k leader to stay at 4. They're just not. They go to 2. Let's say they saved their marker the whole time. They didn't use their marker at all, so they were playing like an energy behind the whole time. Which would already be setting them back. But like, let's say they saved their marker the whole time for the 6 cost. They play the 6 cost. Oh, okay, so now your fucking Omega is frozen. Your leader can't swing, but you go into 6. You play Omega again, and like, let's say you don't have Black Smoke to tap for your swing. You just tap the energy, and then you throw the other fucking 7 cost on it. Boom, game. Fucking, I'm telling you, bro. Don't worry too much about it. Certain decks are gonna get crippled to it, so it can be like gate kept. Some decks, just like the situation we had where when Boo couldn't out Jiren back in the day, but even then, still you had people playing Boo. Like TK Top, he made day 2 at Nats with Boo, fucking dodged the shit out of me, but he was undefeated. I lost my first round, so it made sense. And then I didn't make day 2. That was so frustrating. But anyways, but yeah, we'll see if it gatekeeps a lot of shit and if it does or not. But regardless, Shenron will have a good matchup in this deck for sure. Goku Jr. This is you got to see the cards because increase the cost. It's pretty plain, and without the cards, you would be like, hey, what the fuck does this effect even do? So it's like you gotta see, and depends on if we see anything that can like really deter Cell, because Black has just had such a bad matchup into Cell. So if Cell doesn't get hit at all, we have to see if this has anything that's makes things different, or even if this doesn't have a good cell matchup, if the other decks are good enough that they could shit on cell, then this could be okay if just by indirectly the other decks beating up on cell that it makes for less cell players, and then it could turn into black being more playable. So we have to see. But yeah, Goku Jr. is cool. If y'all seen the fucking what is it? It's a movie, right? Yeah, the Goku Jr. movie. It's pretty cool. I recommend you watch it. A lot of people just think he's just in the end of GT, but he's not. He's got his own little shit. There's a bunch of FB08 stuff. Here's something, like I said, with the Gohan playing off curve. You can, like I say, you get him to 1, same way that you couldn't really go to 1 against like the other like red decks like Jiren, for example, or stuff like that, because they'll play 3-cost Vegeta, which you pitch 2 cards, it automatically goes to a 50, and then you like throw margaritas on it, and Vegeta was only a 3-cost, so if you go to 1 versus that, then that deck just fucking explodes. If you go to 1 versus this, then this plays, because if they're at 1, then you assume it's late game. So play this, take the life, because let's say you're shotgunning or whatever. Boom, boom, play a bunch of fucking the little guys, da, 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 da. Play the little Margarita Gohans. Boost him up. Leader effect him. He's already going to be a base 40. Then the leader effect boost him to 60. What? And then fucking the Gohans boosted, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This would be your killer of basically to stop them from ever going to 1 card. So even if you don't play this, they still got to play around it just because of the thought that you might have it. So they can't go to 1. So that could work to your favor if you play this card. Krillin card's probably not crazy. Go on with 20k. This card can't be removed, but why do you care about having a 2-cost 10k blocker? Really, you don't. So Kefla, this is the like best value card we've seen before. I was telling you, because it's like the only card in the game that is a straight up pick up 2, I think. At least, like the other stuff that you have to either put it on the deck or discard it or something like that. There's your Sig, look top 5, real 2 with 4 or less. Do-do-do, add them to your hand. Cool. She's a beast. Kaba is basically 2-cost. This is the 2-cost Zamasu card. Except 2-cost Zamasu, didn't 2-cost Zamasu have like you can't be removed or something like that? Let me see. Let's go to Eggman's for it. Do. Yeah, it did, but Zamasu wasn't a self-awakener, so that's the difference. So it makes sense. But yeah, so it was pretty cool. Help your, what do you call it, your consistency. It all depends if you want to swing with it early, because if you want to keep them swinging at your leader or not. But time will tell on that. This 1-cost blocker. Yeah, who knows? Maybe not. Depends on what the meta turns out to be, how much 1-cost hate, stuff like that. Ramp card for Turles, it's good. Ramps off the top of the deck, and it's an Awakener, so that's great. This card, Paragus, is really good because the secret's such a high 6-cost that you sort of want to get to late game with that, so you're okay with stalling your opponent's Awaken. So activate main, switch your leader card in your battle area. People are like, oh, why would you want to switch your leader or whatever else? I heard that Phil plays dude say that, And it's like, oh, you'd rather just swing. And it's like, no, because if you're going to still get the same draw anyways, but you can stop them from taking a life and laying there awaken. And if you just win in game, so it means if you get there, then you just win. Then you would rather do this, get the draw off your leader anyways, and just without them taking a life. And they have to deal with this. If they don't, then you just do it again. And then next thing you know, you're at 6 or 7, and you're just looping the 6-cost Broly secrets, and it's just game over. Or let's say you're not in that scenario, and you do want to still swing a leader, but like I say, it's like later game, and you have the 5-cost Bio Broly that can't attack. You play this, you can rest that, still get a draw for it. And that card restands like 3, something like that. Yeah. 1-cost blocker again, so sort of just like the Krillin. Yeah. This card's really good. This card's 3-cost if you have Son Goku, so Goku GT support as well as Goku Jr. Can't attack for the turn, but whenever people play the SS3, you're not attacking with it anyways because you're playing it super early, so you still want your op to swing into you. And this is a 30 instead of 25, so it's just better than that. You don't care about that it can't attack, because 30k swingers are just so much better than 25s. And let's say Gohan runs Spirit Destruction or whatever, because he's trying to do like the whole burn tactic, then it would get around that. So Pan GT, has to do with the cost stuff. Total cost 10 or more, she's a 2. That card, for example, would count as a 6, so you'd be at 8, and then you would just need 1 more of these, for example, and you'd be at 10. But or whatever else. So 10 won't be too hard to get. But like I said, compared to the Kefla, it's draw 2, then place 1 on top of the deck. So like I said, Kefla is a very rare card as far as getting the draw 2 with no, like, you don't have to get rid of another card, you just straight up draw 2. But it's 5-cost, so I mean, it makes sense. But you can cheat to get there, so we'll show you that. 1-cost Awakener for red. It's good, Saiyan or Earthling, so it's you don't get to look at much, just like Haze. Haze looks at 2, and Haze pretty much grabs anything. Haze grabs anything in the deck, including super combos. So this can grab super combos too. But this is 1 less than Haze, but it's 5k less power, but it's 5k more combos, so it's like the same thing, but it's 1 cost, 7 2 costs. But yeah, it's a pretty good card. Depends on how fast you want to awaken with what do you call it? Gohan, but this is likely a for sure card because it probably picks up the whole deck, and yeah, it's just probably the most optimal turn 1 play. Can't see you whiffing that. Hercule, look at 5 cards, 18. No, play up to Skillless Android 18. Yeah, no, you're not really worried about that. I mean, you could be like if you want to really play like some weird shenanigans, but you would just not enough targets that would ever make that make sense. Unless it was some weird sealed format. This card is pretty good, but it sort of reminds me of what is that fucking card? What is that? The red card that was an extra with the little Goku on it. Was it Flying Nimbus or Power Pole? Yeah, Flying Nimbus. Choose a battle card, gets 10k. Then if your leader has Goku and a scar name, draw 1 card. It was like people were wondering like this or Margarita, and this just didn't really make sense. However, with this, plus 20, and then if your leader effect happened that turn, meaning like you bounced a card back or forth, then you get to draw. So I saw a kid mention maybe stuff like Gallic in the what's it called, in the talks for the deck theory wise, but then again, that's the same kid that was saying, oh, you're not gonna have space because the deck's got to curve out, blah blah blah. And it's like if you can't afford to pay for this, you can't afford to pay for Gallic. So it's like if you can, then you would just rather play this because it's 5k more. But anyways, because you're not, brother. If you're not using your leader effect on your awaken turns, then you're just fucking losing. You're gonna use your leader effect every turn you're awakened, bar none. That's a fact. If you don't do that, then you just fucking scoop the deck up. But yeah, it has potential. It just all depends on how much combo power we have and if we can afford to have cards like that on opponent's turn. Like if we're gonna be a survive deck, or if we're just gonna go for the kill every time, and in that case, then we don't really care too much for combo power because we're going for kills rather than vice versa. Can attack, so it's just basically like one cost Luis, the 35k. This won't see play, it's got tank support. Early, this could be potentially good for restanding the secret. Just pay 3, swing 40, pay 3 again, swing 40. But you could say, oh, you'd rather run a you'd rather just play another one, but who knows? Maybe it won't see play, maybe it will, but likely not. This is the one that can't attack, that we were saying, that I was saying that, oh, it's a rest target for Paragus if you want to draw. It's basically just it's combo power 10k, so you don't feel like it's dead in hand, and it sets up the leader floodgates while only after you switch 3 to active and you switch 1 to active with the leader effect, then you only spent 1 to turn on your leader ability, and then you got 4 to do whatever the fuck else you want to do, which I don't know. It's probably going to be playing a card that turns on the leader ability anyways. I don't know. Maybe you'll do shenanigans like play... I have no fucking idea. Maybe you'll do shenanigans like play Freeze Goku. Maybe you'll freeze 2 with the 4-cost Goku. And that way you have them frozen up until you drop the 6-cost next turn. So play this. Play 4-cost Goku. Freeze the bodies. They're stuck. Next turn, they swing with some stuff. You play 6-cost, freeze everything, and then you just snowball from there. But I don't know. We'll see. This is a really good card. Look for 5 cards. Target deck, reveal 2 with 4 or less. Add them to your hand. Plays the rest better than discard 1. Like I said, 5-cost Kefla. Draws 2, keeps 2. This draws 2. Discard 1, so still just draw 1, but you got to see 2 cards deep at least, so I mean you got to, yeah, oh well. Leader's Awaken, get +10, so yeah, this is another card that's like just beastly with that other 2 cost, that's a 40k if you have 5 rested. This card does some crazy shenanigans. It basically margaritas it without it margaritas it, I guess, with while it also replaced itself, and it is a target to rest. So, yeah. This is good. If you add a card from your life to hand, you can bottom deck a 5 or less because it's on the board as a 5-cost. So, that's really good. But, the added card from life to hand is a cost, so you don't have to do that. But if you don't do that, then it's just a vanilla 20k, so you just never play on this card in that case, unless like it was your only target and you just needed a swing for game, and then you're in fucking shambles if that was the case anyways. But yeah, so this is good if it's like your awaken turn, I guess, maybe. But really more so though, it's just the card is good just for like, not even that. It's more just, I'd say it's more just a mid-game card. Like let's say they played a 4-cost on their 4 energy turn. You go to 4 plus marker. Could play this, I guess. Let's say you're still unawakened. You play this, and then just tempo. You just bottom deck their 4-cost. And then, yeah. I'd say those are the more optimal scenarios for this card. But, yeah. Turles.
Place a life and energies owner or drop. Play up to play the field or play a non-turless with 3 or less. Not bad. Paragus. This is what can protect your Paragus and +1 cost. So like let's say it was a 4 cost and it wasn't going to turn on the floodgate. You turn it to a 5 for a turn. This is really good. New double strike for black. Choose a battle card, costs 3 or less in your opponent's battle area, place to its owner's drop. So it gets around stuff like Crit Boo. If you don't have an energy marker, you place a marker. So unlike 5 cost Bardock, which you don't really want to play like early because you just feel like you lose tempo. This doesn't lose tempo because you still get the marker. So let's say you burnt marker on 4 and a marker to play this, then you could still drop 6 cost Gogeta next turn, and you didn't need to lose 2 cards to KO something. And in this case, you're not even KOing it; you're placing it. So yeah, I don't get why people. Some people said like something like it's worse than Bardock. They're just wrong, and they just don't know. And it's funny to say that about a card that doesn't even see play anyways. Like, people stopped playing Bardock, so it's funny. Leader's Awakened. This is basically Dr. Flampe, but not an android, so yeah. This is the 1 cost Margarita for Saiyan trait. Caulifla. This is what can turn into the Kefla. Add up to a card from your left hand. Place a KO, cost of 4. Discard from your battle area into owner's drop for leader's Caulifla. Play up to 1 Kefla, cost 5. From drop, which is cool, instead of from hand. A lot of times see from hand. So this is just more like great shit that we're not seeing like from other decks. So like I said, we've never seen the pick up 2 cards and not just straight up net gain 2 cards with the 5 cost Kefla. Usually when we're doing shenanigans like this, you got to play it from hand. This is playing it from drop, so you can pitch it with leader and then get it right back. It's almost like the 3 cost Broly, Kid Broly though, for example, where it's kind of like you want to play this and then like have it survive a turn. There's certain, it all depends on what else is on your board too. Like there's certain scenarios where you can put your opponent in a tough spot to where they have to, where you force their hand to have to make a certain play if they're gonna get rid of this, and if they're not, and if they are easily gonna have an outed, then you just make a different play. But if it would be tough for them, tough scenario, and depending on like how the games went and all that stuff, you make a calculated decision. But yeah, having little fuse mechanics to make Kefla is pretty cool, and maybe we'll get another 5 cost Kefla, we'll see. But even if we do, it's unlikely that you're going to have a better target than something that literally just on play, look at top 5 and draw 2. Could be one thing if it was just a draw 2, but to look at the top 5 and grab 2 of your choice is just fucking insane. But yeah, and then play this. It's a 40k. This is pretty crazy. When attacking at the end of your turn, place this card from battle at the bottom of its owner's deck. So it's sort of like that 2 cost 30k Trunks that did that, and then you had to get it back with Time Machine. So I know it's the same idea as with Trunks, is if you bounce it back to your hand, you get around that, or if you, in this case with the Caulifla, if you put it in drop, then yeah, you use it, you attack with it, and then you do that, boom. And it's a 10k. 4 costs 40k is a 10k is fucking insane. I mean, look at that 4 costs 40k Frieza. That's a 0, and it can't restand. It's like, this card's fucking crazy. Really good card. This is Tree of Might. This is the shenanigans with Turles. Lets you, a lot of stuff requires you to have the fruit in your hand. So, I mean, in your energy. So, you do the stuff that needs to have it in energy first, and then you tap this, pick it up, and then use it, and then once you use it, you get it back. See, your card that's in a battle gets 15,000 power for the battle. If your leader's Turles, you have 5 or less. After you use it, it goes back to the energy, so you just keep looping it. And you can also use it on your opponent's turn too. So that's pretty cool. So like, let's say you need defense, then you just tap the fucking shit, the field, grab this back, and then when your opponent swings, you get out of it with this, and it goes back to your energy after, and then you just use it on your turn too. But it helps you survive. So it could make it tough. It's like Gohan, for example. Teen Gohan, his effect that makes him good at getting out of stuff. But hey, you don't have to minus energy because you use this and you get it in your energy. So low-key ramp. Kinda. 2-power Kakarot again, the babies. Babies in the house. Top 3 searcher. Paragus or Broly. It's not many hits. I mean, Broly lands a super, but that's... I think somebody said there's going to be a lot of Brolys, probably, but there would have to be. Because, we'll see. But, yeah, if you play all the Paraguses, if you play, like, both Paraguses playset, 4-8, and then you play the Bio Brolys plus the Brolys, then you should have enough targets that this makes sense. So, it's cool. This Broly, if your leader is Broly, this is a 5 cost when it's in rest mode, so just card value to rest mode, draw one, discard one. It's okay, like if you need the floodgate, but the floodgate doesn't work on leader swing, so if the leader just swung into it. But I mean, if you played the 1 cost blocker and then you blocked that leader swing, and then you would force them to at least have to tap something when they swing at this with something else, or when they swing at life with something else. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Another 2 costs Pan. I need to get to the fucking kitchen real quick. This went longer than I thought it would. This helps with consistency, because for Goku GT, the 1 cost Pan was only doing the other 2 cost Pan. Other 2 cost Pan's probably better, but just for 1 cost Pan's like the best card in that deck now. So just having more targets for that, so you can just abuse 1 cost Pan, is really helpful. So this is dope. This is good. Mount Pa's house for could be a little slow, so we'll have to see if it is feasible to play it. But if you are able to play it feasibly, then it's good, just because it lets you keep shit like ultimate sparking at any moment. Like even if you burn your marker and don't play something that generates it, you can spend the marker on your turn and still have a marker standing on your opponent's turn and have sparking. So an ultimate sparking is a great card, so we'll see how that goes. Here's the first secret. For opponent's life at 2 or less, card gains double strike, so it's only double strike if they're at 2 or less, so you don't have to worry about it taking you from like 3 to 1 or 4 to 2. Doesn't do that. Play at 3 or less. It's good. Broly. Reminder: this doesn't tap things. So something has to already be rested for it to freeze it. So they can't switch to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn, which is also cool because it means they can't like time rewound like on your turn. To like get around that. And then choose your opponent's rest mode leader, and it can't attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So reminder, it doesn't say you're freezing. You're not freezing their leader. You're just saying that their rest mode leader can't attack. So if their leader's in rest mode, it can't attack. If it's in active mode, it can attack. But if it's in rest mode, it can't attack until next turn. But if it's Bulma, if it's Shenron, it's not an attack leader. It still activates, and you can still do the effect. So yeah, so people are crazy, but 6 costs is a lot, so we'll see. Play this and do nothing. Some decks it'll be crazy, but some decks won't really care all that too much. We'll see. Here's the championship cards, the 7 cost secret triple strikes, really cool. Last year the Nats card, the Frieza, and the Worlds card, the Goku 3 cost, they all had the same art, so this is an upgrade from that. And what is this? Oh yeah, and this. We have a Son Goku Jr. with the bear. That's cute. It's top 3 searcher. Grab anything. The Broly. It becomes a 40k if you tap 1. And it can rest something. Turles Extra is pay 1, KO a 5 or less. That's good. Frost. It's a dual attack crit. But you had to have returned something that turn. So like let's say you went 5 cost Kefla into this, then both of these swings would be 25k crit, so that's cool. And then the 2 cost go on is good. That like let's say you're going against Piccolo, for example, and you're going second. This Gohan Adolescence, you pop marker for it and swing, and every time they take from a swing from this is you look at top 3 and you grab a 4 or less. So a searcher that happens every time they take, and if you pop marker with this and they're probably going to take all the first swings, then it's just insane value early. So this card would be really good against like Piccolo, for example, especially going second. But yeah, or even going first. You know, because you're not swinging on your first turn. They're at 8 still. On your second turn, you swing with this first. Are they really comboing out of that? I don't know. If they do, then okay, 10k, sure. And then you just do it again the next turn. But yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed, man. Check the Metafy if you want lessons or if you want just tips. Gonna have some more Sin Shenron stuff on there soon. That's all I'm gonna be playing for until Nats. Assuming there's no cell hit or anything of that nature, or else then I might somehow pivot to the new Namek. But if nothing gets touched, then I'm definitely playing Sin. I'll be streaming soon, and peace. Thank you guys.